I did not intend to be out Thursday and Friday, but the last year I've had just so much family stuff going on so many fronts, illnesses, deaths, crises. I mean, you know how it is. Some years more bad stuff happens than happens in the previous 10. Some years more good stuff happens in a year than happened the previous 10. I've had a lot of great stuff happen this year as well. So many times I open up the broadcast with the Tale of Two Cities quote. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. And then it goes on to talk about that paradox. But I am here live today and intend to be here live tomorrow. And we will obviously open the phones up. I want to try to be disciplined, as I say so many times, and don't do it, and go through all of the really important news. There is so much to get into. There's also a lot of really positive news that I want to look at that just came out today. And every day there are examples of good things that are happening in society, in the world. I want to get into some of that coming up. Hershey explores removal of corn syrup. UN poll reveals global population does not believe global warming. It's the most unimportant issue. That's the way the UN cooks these polls is, what's the most important threat? A to Z. And then Z is climate change. They don't let you say, hey, I think it's a fraud. Just, what's the least threat? Is it unicorns or is it pixie dust? I mean, and so you can't say unicorns aren't real. You just say it's the least, threat of mythical creatures out there from Rumpelstiltskin right down the line. Here's another one. San Diego encourages rainwater harvesting with rebates instead of cities everywhere trying to find people that harvest rainwater. Bankster lobbyists try to sneak derivatives bailout in budget legislation, but it's in trouble as the public learns about it. Wall Street moves to put taxpayers on the hook for derivative trades again. Protecting their derivatives, not letting them pay in the free market when they sell them to the public. And see, they'll put your pension fund or your investment in these, especially if they're guaranteed. So the answer is don't guarantee them. The answer is don't guarantee them. And then that way, these things don't get propped up. I mean, that seems like common sense, but, derivatives are now worse than they were 6 years ago in 2008 with the so-called banker bailout. So that's all coming up today. That's just some of the news I have there. I have a little stack of corruption news I want to illustrate and tie together. And then the really big news, Obama is fully race baiting. That is the globalist strategy of false flag, is a cold race war in this country starting to go hot. And government, the pinheads up in the ivory towers, trying to scapegoat the police and make them the end-all, be-all villains. And believe me, I got a lot of problems with the police. Foremost, the globalist engineering of them. But when the mainstream media wants to scapegoat the police, when they zig, I zag, ladies and gentlemen, and I see these comments on InfoWars, it's a minority of comments, but they say things like, why are you suddenly supporting the police? There were cases of cops getting hit with bottles and rocks and shot at again and run over by cars and crowds chanting in Denver, hit them again, hit them again. Two wrongs don't make a right. Just because the police are being militarized, trained to see us as the enemy, doesn't mean then we all then just turn into complete animals and say that all the police deserve to die. That's what the globalists want. And I know I harp on this, but I've seen this coming for a long time, and it's here. It's here. And if we can stop it and defuse it, it'll be a big blow against the globalists, because you can see they are full court press. We want to change the police, not kill the police.
The average person.
For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know the fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of Silver Bullet colloidal silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com and to help others during Christmas by teaching them about the powerful benefits of silver. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, the 7th day of December, 2014. I'm your host, Alex Jones. We're here every Sunday live, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. And then, of course, we have the live weekday broadcast, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. The news websites are prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com because we're fighting the construction of a prison planet using the truth via the info war. We will have open phones tonight after I go through a bunch of the top stories. I'll also tell you about some of the breaking news and analysis we're going to be going over in the second hour as well. The engineered cold race war that's now beginning to go hot is going into high gear right now in Obama's last 2 years. We've been calling this the last year in articles and special reports on the radio and television at Infowars.com, and now it's happening. We're going to be breaking that down. Really good news on the realignment that's happening politically, but there's also a poison lining to this very pretty fluffy cloud. Dems' final insult. Landrieu crushed. Politico. Cassidy trounces incumbent with Republicans set to control 54 seats in the next Congress. A major referendum against Obamacare, the total amnesty, shutting off the power plants, going after the guns, all of it. Here's the problem. The Republicans have a huge majority in the House, a juicy majority now with 54 seats in the Senate. And when they come back in January, Mitch McConnell, Joe Boehner, all of them, just call him Joe Boehner, Joe Biden, the same person, being sarcastic. Speaker of the House Boehner and others are going to go right along with Obama and not repeal Obamacare, not repeal a bunch of anti-defense gun control garbage, not fight all these executive orders, not really fight Obama when it comes to open borders. They are just going to allow Boehner and McConnell and all of them in the Republican leadership, the entire agenda to continue on when they were just given one of the biggest majorities in the last 100-plus years that the Republican Party has had. And you've got a bunch of blue blood rhino Republicans riding herd, perched on top of the entire situation. Half of the Democrats that voted for Obamacare in the Senate, and a bunch of Republicans that voted for it as well, are no longer in the Senate. Let's just get into this now. Last of Senate's Deep South Democrats defeated, AP. Republicans tie Landrieu loss to Hillary. Hillary Clinton has lost that new car smell. I don't think she ever had a new car smell unless it was a new car taken to the drive-in and vomited in by 100 teenagers. Or had a bunch of dead possums in the trunk. That's the only smell I can see coming out of Hillary. I spiritually see the smell. Half of senators who voted for Obamacare won't be part of new Senate. There's the roll call of that. Lost and replaced by a Republican. Mark Begich. Senator Mark Pryor, Arkansas. Mark Udall, Colorado. Kay Hagan, North Carolina, all Democrats. Mary Landrieu, Louisiana. The list goes on and on. Feingold, Wisconsin. Blanche Lincoln in Arkansas. Arlen Specter, Democrat, Pennsylvania. He's been gone a while and dead a while, but they're just listing him. Jay Rockefeller, gone. Max Baucus, gone. Tim Johnson, gone. Tom Harkin, gone. Ben Nelson, gone. Byron Dorgan, gone. Gone. I mean, I'm not going to read the whole giant list. But it doesn't matter because John Boehner, or Joe Biden Boehner, and Mitch Barack Hussein Obama McConnell say, hey, we're not going to stop the amnesty. Hey, we're not going to stop Obamacare. We'll do some lawsuit that does nothing. Hey, we're not going to hold back the funds. Hey, we're not going to stop all these executive orders banning the importation of guns and ammo. Hey, we're not going to go and sanction the White House and the Justice Department for Fast and Furious. You know what? The big banks and the foreign interests that run this country, they like what we've done. And so, you know what we're going to do? We're going to continue the course. And so what if we even get voted out later? It'll just be replaced by more people we can co-opt or blackmail. But this political realignment is so big, and the people are coming together across the board against tyranny. What do? You race bait. And if the public's mad at the government, and government has a 7% approval rating in Gallup, Congress is seen as government in general, a faceless, nameless group. 7% approval rating Gallup. It's been that for about a year. Used to be like 12, 13 points. That was the previous record low. It's 7% right now. So what are they going to do? What's seen as the face of the government by the general public, about half of which know about fantasy football and know about Victoria's Secret and know how to drink beer or have a good time, but don't know how the world works, think it's fun, and think it gives them an advantage not to care? Who is seen, with all the corrupt laws and all the bureaucracy, who is seen as the face of the government? The police. And so you're now going to see a full-on war on the police, who are federalized and globalized. That is, the feds are run by globalist interests under UNESCO treaties. I mean, go read it. They're being federalized. The feds themselves controlled, so might as well just have them be UN peacekeepers. And so what they're doing in a lot of cases is really bad. The change in policing, on average, is really bad. They do get away with a lot of bad stuff. There's a lot of villains in there, but there's a lot of good people in there, and that's not where the problem is stemming from. It's stemming from us letting foreign special interests run this country like a dumping ground or something. The wild, wild west of corruption. We're being looted 7 ways to Sunday right now. Pension funds have already been stolen. You just haven't been given the word yet. It's starting to be announced. The country signed on to 1,000 of 2,000 trillion, 2 quadrillion that have been created. The looting is going on, and even financial publications admit elites everywhere are cheating even more than ever, knowing that they've got to run to Luxembourg or Switzerland or the Cook Islands or to Costa Rica or to Grand Cayman or to, all those other islands before it all goes down. So the bank robbers have already left the building, and now they just want us to have a shootout with the police and say they robbed the bank. And then you have a civil war on your hands, a nice rearguard action. While we're all busy killing each other in race wars and wars with the police, that might even go well for the globalists overseas. They don't want our legitimate form of government to operate.